Well, that's it. Board just died. Not in a good spot, trying to get home. But the final tally. All right, we're doing the first test ride on the Meepo Voyager X. I took it for a quick spin last night and got 1 mile on it, but this is going to be my first real range test. So we're going to see how far we can actually go. Everything's fully charged up, just unplugged it. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
All right, couple things I want to go over real quick that affect the range. First, and probably most important, I'm 6'4" and about 180 pounds, so I'm sure that I'm heavier than the rider that Meepo is using to get their quoted 24 to 36 miles of range. Next, I rode entirely in mode 3 today. If you ride in mode 4, which is their fastest mode, I'm sure you're gonna get less range, but to be perfectly honest, I didn't feel comfortable riding in mode 4 yet because it just had so much torque, I felt like I was gonna wreck and I didn't wanna crash. Also, I'm using the stock 90mm wheels that came with the board, but I got the 110mm Cyclone wheels in some package deal, so if you guys want to see a range test with that, I can swap those on and do one. And then last, the temperature was about 70 degrees out, and I was mostly doing flat ground, although there were some small hills, and throughout the whole range test, I was averaging about 15 to 20 miles an hour, although of course I did stop a few times during the test to grab water and that sort of thing. I think that should cover it. If I missed anything, let me know in the comment section below and I'll try and get you guys an answer. All right, let's get on to the range test.
All right, so this is our first check-in. This board is insane. Let's see, we've gone, let's see if we can get that to focus. It doesn't show up on camera, but we're at 8 miles. Here, let me stop, see if I can get it to focus. We're at 8 miles on speed 3, and I was probably going about 15 to 20 miles an hour on average, and the board still says it's full battery, which is crazy. I don't believe it, but it's crazy. But I'll say the highest I got it going was 28 miles an hour, and it was absolutely terrifying. I did not feel comfortable going any faster than that. So I'm not going to be going faster, but I can't really test the top speed. And this is only in speed mode 3. So I'm not really sure what to do. I don't really think I'm good enough to push the board to its limits. So but we're going to keep going. This is a range test. We're going to keep going and see how far we can go on one charge. So far, it's crazy. I will say, it makes me a little bit nervous because it's so torquey. Even though I'm going at about 20 miles an hour, I'm almost falling off the back by just bumping the throttle. It just has so much get up and go. And yeah, so we'll check back in maybe in another 10 miles. All right, so we're 12 miles in. So you can see on their amount. Wow, it really doesn't want to go. Anyway, that says 12.1 miles. Board is still at 100% battery, which is insane. But we hit the end of the trail, so I guess I turn around now. I guess that's what we're gonna do. All right, so big update. Riding here, and we just lost the first bar. And you guys are not gonna believe it. So this can't be accurate, but if you see the first, oh, that's hard to see. The first bar just dropped, so supposedly at 75%, 16 miles, 1 bar down. So I'm actually getting tired. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to finish this entire range test because it's gonna take too long. Like, I don't want to be out here for that long. So we'll see. I'm starting to head back, and we'll see exactly how long. I don't think it's actually only a quarter dead. I think it's got to be more dead than that, and it's just not reporting it correctly. But yeah, we'll just keep on going. All right, so we just passed 20 miles, and the board just ticked down to half battery. So that I kind of believe, or probably a little bit less. But anyway, the battery's going down a lot faster than it was showing before. way too fast. This is the best part of the trail, so I thought I'd let you guys enjoy it. River's right over there. It's very nice. Really smooth. Not much to hit. Beautiful park. Blue skies. Nothing to complain about here. It was nice. Here's a little bridge coming up. It's wooden, and so it kind of sucks. Makes me want the bigger wheels, which I'm gonna swap to, but yeah, grab some frames. Okay, one thing I really like about this board that wasn't the case with my Backfire G2 is that I'm on an incline. It's hard to tell, but I'm on a downhill, and if I brake, it'll actually, well, I'm still crawling, but the motors will actually lock up and stop me. Maybe if okay, I'm still rolling, so maybe I spoke too soon, but on the flat, it does it well. Maybe this hill's just a little too steep. Here, let's try it right here. Okay, if I hit the brakes, then they'll lock, and now I'm locked. Like I can't move it. And that's really nice, because on the Backfire G2, like you're stopping. Usually I'm stopping on like the end of a sidewalk, and there's a little downhill, and it would slow you down, but it wouldn't actually stop you, so you had to hop off the board. This, well, it looks like it might just slow you down also. This seems like the brakes will slow you down a lot more. Like, even though they might not stop you perfectly on a downhill, it'll slow quite a bit more. And then it'll also stop you, totally lock the wheels up, your wheels, if it's not too steep. So that's actually a really nice feature. Oh my God, it's just so fast. Here in the shade, you can see half a battery on the board, and we're at 22.5 miles. So here, this stretch is really nice. There's a nice flat. On my other board, this is where I'd go full throttle because there's not any cracks. And so, but okay, here we go. This is 26, and that looks like as fast as it's gonna go in mode 3. But that feels more than fast enough. That's a lot faster than I actually want to go. Thanks. That's actually quite a bit faster than I want to go without any protective gear. So I was just doing this as a beach test. I wasn't planning on top speeding anything. So maybe I'll slap on a helmet and some pads, and then I'll put it in mode 4 and see how fast it can really go. But it looks like mode 3 probably maxes out at 26, at least with me. You know, with this board, this rider. So. But yeah, here you go. Here you get a nice view of the river. That's just pretty. Gotta enjoy your life. That's nice. Look at that. Beautiful. Love it. Love it. Oh, this is nice and colorful up here. I love this stretch. Check this out. You're gonna be like, ooh. Look at that. Look at that, beautiful colors, so bright. Pop out of that tunnel. All right, we are finally at 1/4 left on the remote. I don't know if you can see that. It says 1/4 battery, and then 26.3 miles. We've done exactly a marathon. That's kind of fun. But what I wanted to show was at 1/4 battery, it's still, I just tried it, it still has crazy torque. Like, check this out. And let me get over this bump. Okay, from a stop, if I just full throttle it, whoa, that's still insane. And that's, whew. Yeah, these bumps are killer. There are these roots coming up. But that still pulled, I don't think it's quite as hard as right when the battery was full, but it's close enough that I don't know that I can notice very much of a difference. Like, if I had to guess, I'd say it's maybe, I don't know, maybe like 10 or 20% slower, but it's damn near the same pull that I had at full battery. And we've been going for 26.5 miles. That's just crazy. Like, the battery sag, at least so far, seems nearly non-existent. But I'm gonna do some more tests. We'll do another pull when the battery starts flashing or when it's really, really low, just to see what happens. But already, I mean, I'm a bigger rider. I was not expecting to get anywhere near this much range. Like, they say the top end is 36 miles on this version, but they're always with like a 150-pound rider or a 140-pound rider. And I weigh 180 and I'm 6'4", so I'm a big sail in the wind and heavier than their usual riders. And I usually ride harder, so I never get the range. And this one, it's looking like I'm gonna get kind of close. It's a nice bridge. All right, so I'm gonna start heading back so I don't get stranded too far away with a dead battery. But once it gets low, I'll do another pull. All right, so it just buzzed at me. I think it's getting real low. I think we're at like maybe 10%. It still says a quarter, but it's buzzing now. So we're gonna try and pull from here. Oh, yeah, it's definitely slowing down now. That one was a lot slower than the one just a mile ago. It did not pull as hard. But we are at 27.7 miles. So now I'm really hoping I get to 30. I'm not sure if we will, but I'm really hoping we do. That's just a cool number. That's impressive. All right, so now the board is blinking at me. The battery is flashing empty. Well, not right then, but it was just flashing empty. And it seems like it's giving up. The top speed is still pretty good. I just got it up to 20, which, you know, it's definitely, now it's not wanting to go faster than 15, 16. Okay, never mind, I take it back. So we're still going 18, but it's definitely a lot slower. And the acceleration is much worse. But so this is the very end of the battery. And even still, I would say this part of the battery is probably similar to my G2, my backfire G2. Like, this is what I'm used to. So we'll see if we can make it home. We'll ride it until it dies. Well, that's it. Board just died. Not in a good spot, trying to get home. But the final tally. Oh, you really can't see it, can you? It's 28.8, and the board is dead. It says it has a tiny bit of battery left, but it won't even, if I hit the throttle, nothing happens. So 28.8 miles. Gonna kick the rest of the way home. That is insane. Well, here's a test of the freewheeling, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It rolls a whole lot better than I was expecting it to. It's really not bad for kicking. I heard that belt drives don't kick very well, which this is a belt drive, but it seems to kick. I mean, you definitely lose some momentum, but it's really not as bad as I was expecting. You can do it. It's not fun. About another mile, maybe half mile to go. When we get home, and then I'll do a little talking about my first experience. So I'll see you guys in 20 minutes. Oh, there it is. We made it home. Didn't have to kick too far. It wasn't that bad. I will say. Oh, one thing I like about this board is that even though it ran out of battery, it didn't just turn off. Like my other board will run out of battery and then turn off. And the reason that's important is because that way, if it's still on, even though it doesn't have any juice to go, you can still use the brakes, which is really nice. So I just realized that while I was kicking, I was like, oh, I still have brakes, and that is really nice. That's really nice. But I will say, if you want to carry it for any amount of distance, you're gonna have a tough time. That is a heavy board. That's heavy. So there you go. Final tally 29.3, but really it died at 28.8, and then I kicked that last little half mile. So, but still basically 29 miles. That's insane.